Hello, my fellow saluters, and welcome to my April plan with me. This month, we're headed to Oslo, Norway. I'm so excited to show you the amazing things that Oslo had. So, first, we're getting started. I decided I wanted to do the calendar and all of the other spreads first because the front cover usually takes some time. So I printed out some of my favorite pictures from my trip. This is the clothes, the traditional folk clothes of people of Norway. Right now I'm pasting a picture from the folk museum, and I'll speak a little bit more about that later. So to get started, I just did a really basic calendar, 2-page calendar to just keep track of all of the things that April has in store. So while that's going on, I decided to show you little clips from my trip. One of the places that I went to is the Folk Museum. So it's just open space that shows you the different types of traditional housing that people in Norway used to have. And I'm not sure how I did this pretty cool effect. But yeah, so here it is. So for the weeks, I decided to use some Norwegian. Before I went on my trip, I decided to learn some key Norwegian things, words. So I thought it would be cool to bring back some of the words that I learned into the spread. So one of the other places that I went to was the Vigeland Museum Sculpture Park. And these were some of my favorite sculptures from the park, and I just showed a little clip here of how the statues looked. Yeah, so I feel like this pose here, it reminds me of one of my favorite yoga poses. And then the picture of the lady grabbing her hair, if any pose would ever really signify or match me, it would be this pose. And then this last picture is actually from the Museum of Art at the entrance, and I just thought it was really nice. So I decided to print it and do a little bit more scrapbooking this month. So as always, this is my content creation page. So I have a little section for my yoga because I am still in my yoga teacher certification. I'm still studying for it. Then I have a little section for my work that I do with Arch and Olive because I am a design team member. And then I have another one for Do You Salute, my blog that I keep procrastinating on uploading posts, and then YouTube channel. Eventually I'd like to put more videos. So these are things for my aspirations, and 1 month I will actually have these goals set. So now for my weekly, I'm going to continue doing this format. So this is just the money, the Norwegian krone. It's so cool because they don't really have cents. It's just dollars or krones. So the coins are krone, just like the paper money is krone too. So I thought that was really cool. They don't really have cents. So if something costs 5.50, like 5 krone 50, they just pretty much round up. You don't get change back or round down. So this next picture here is I love this tiger so much. This tiger was in the Oslo Central, kind of like the equivalent of Grand Central Station. And I don't know, it made me wish I had a pet tiger. Of course, I know in real life that probably not as cute and friendly, but I really enjoyed taking pictures in front of the tiger. So I wanted to include this in my book. So this is just a really basic house, the other picture, but something that really stuck with me was that yellow was a color that was used for people of wealth. So yellow houses are not as common to go by. And I thought it was really nice. I love the way the colors bounced off each other. So next thing is the Viking ship. So Norway does have the history of Vikings, and it's more than what we typically see. So they actually have a museum, the Viking Ship Museum, that shows the actual ships. And I'll have a little video clip. It's massive. It's whatever you're thinking in your head, it's bigger than that. So if you can see here on the side how massive the Viking ships actually are. So I decided to kind of draw this to, because when you think of Norway, Viking is typically what's thought of. So now when it comes to this part of this Viking ship drawing, I actually used it in my sketchbook with pencil and created it, and it was beautiful. And I kept debating, should I do color pencil? Should I do Acrylogragh pen? Should I do watercolor? And honestly, I really liked the way it was with color pencil, and I probably should have left it alone. So each month there's always one piece that is always just simpler is better. So I think I do include a little bit later on a picture of the sketchbook Viking ship to see how nice it looked. Okay, so this spread is something that I recently introduced, the Giving Back spread. So while we were at the Folk Museum, they talked about the Sami people. The Sami people are the indigenous people of Norway. So like in America, we have the Native Americans who have their different tribes. The Sami people is the equivalent. And then also while I was in Norway, we stumbled upon the African Cultural Center, and the owner of the restaurant was so nice. I feel like he was my long lost uncle. So I just wanted to create a spread to talk about these two different cultures that exist in Norway. And if you're interested in learning more and giving back, just research more about the Sami people. I'll leave a link down below, and I'll also leave the link down of the African Culture Center. So if you're ever in Norway, it's a restaurant. You can go visit the restaurant. Okay, so I can't remember who it was, but someone on Instagram created this thing called like it was March favorites, and then they just put little doodles and sketches of their favorite things for the month, and I thought that was really cool. So I decided to start incorporating that instead of doing the one line a day. And then my monthly in review, I want to start incorporating the national flower of each place. So the national flower of Norway is Bergengi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Bergfrui. Bergfrue. So if you can pronounce this, just let me know how it's pronounced. Okay, so this is the mind map and doodles page. I am extremely proud of this creation. So everyone, if you're not familiar, Edvard Munch created Scream, and it's called Skrik in Norwegian. And we actually got a chance to see this artwork in real life, in person. Surprisingly, it's not super crowded the way like the Mona Lisa is when you visit the Mona Lisa in Paris, or any other Van Gogh or any other like famous painting. It's usually crowded, but this one it wasn't. I just really like this painting. I like his style of art, and when I tell you, I'm extremely surprised at how good this turned out. I'm just super surprised. And one thing that I knew is that once it got to a certain point, I was like, yes, it's nice. And then I started to think about adding extra things to it. And then I remembered the Viking Ship and other things from the previous month's Bujos. So I said, you know what, leave well enough alone and just leave it as is. And I'm so glad that I did that. And this is a picture of me in front of the actual sketch. So for the cover page, I decided I wanted to do the Oslo Opera House. So I first sketched it out on my sketchbook. I challenged with perspective that you can see there. I asked my husband for assistance, and his idea of fixing that one line was to create a whole entire page for me. So he spent so much time working on it, so I decided to just keep it, even though I only asked for help with the one line. And I decided to paint it with metallic watercolors to give it this nice shine. And if you ever check the Oslo Opera House, it's white, and the way the sun hits it, it gives us this kind of glowy shine effect. So I thought the metallic paint would really match the scene and the vibe, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. And I'm happy too that it's a joint effort between my husband and I. I've been trying to get him into bullet journaling, and he's not with it, but this is his way of being a team member. Okay, your John Hancock, please. Come here so they could see it. Oh, you want your face? You have to back up. It's... Alright. much. No, come like around, babe. Come on. Don't take too long. The video's already too long.
I'm nervous now.
Don't mess it up. I can't make this a good video. So before we go through the final flip through, please don't forget to subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram and YouTube. And here's the final flip through. Thank you so much for sitting through and watching my April plan with me. Where do you think we're gonna end up next month? Let me know in the comments down below. Without further ado, salute!